Because with us, it would be she's got a soft spot for, you know, my love language, Swahili. She's got for Kenyan and all that.
Sure.
You see? So, you know, trying to do we're such lovers of for the love of Africa. That's what we always said.
Yeah.
You know, putting it all together because all this makes you one. You know, we're all Africans.
Absolutely.
And we're embracing in that. The people from other countries that you have in the show.
Yes, we actually have a designer from Australia, but she originates from Somalia.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, so her name is Zara Hassan, and she goes with the brand Minozola. And then we also have the room. The room is actually from Cape Town, but they have the room.
Oh,
the
right?
room.
Yeah. So the actual owner of that is Janine Evans. So she actually runs this whole business where she has a few designers on there with brilliant designs. She's got designers from SA and designers from out of the country as well. We've also got designers from Sweden. They're also in Egypt as well. It's Zoe Fashion, and that is run by Mahmoud and his sister Nesma as well. So they're also joining us for this as well. So alhamdulillah, we got a good variety, you know, different styles, different clothing, and inshallah we're gonna build this, you know, we're gonna bring in much more. We need to unite in this modest front, you know, and more so with us here in SA, you know. It would have been nice to
Africa.
see. No, definitely. It would have been nice to see much more people from Africa join this, you know. But again, everything takes time. So baby steps, and we're gonna get there at some
point. As long as you
started,
eh?
Absolutely.
It's all in movement. I always say that. I'm like, we are no trees, guys.
Yes.
I'm so passionate about that saying. If you see there's no move, you are not a tree. You are not rooted. Yeah.
And the thing is, every small movement is a movement towards something, you
yes.
know. So we don't have to go all big and out, although that's exactly what we're doing now. But you know, for everyone else who's afraid, sometimes, you know what, I'm always saying this, and I love this saying. Everything you've ever wanted is on the other side of fear. So we fear everything.
Unknown.
You know, we fear absolutely everything. But if you're gonna take that step forward, you're gonna make it. You're gonna do it. What's going to stop you after that? Because you know what, our greatest obstacles are ourselves.
Yeah,
so once you've overcome your own fears, you've overcome your own doubts, all of these things, then the sky is the limit. Absolutely.
You know, there's a course that I'm doing, and this facilitator said, wake up every day, look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm enough.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that should be your motivation every day, because fear will never come
and
through.
And no one else needs to motivate. You need to be your own motivation. You don't need anyone else to tell you that you are the best, because you are the best.
You are.
Yes,
and
absolutely.
you can't want to be somebody else.
Definitely
You're unique
not.
as you are.
Because then you lose your identity, and then you lose yourself, and then you don't know where you're going. You know,
so stick to your lane.
That's it, and that is why we're always talking about Chicago, because you need to know where you come from. You need to know where you're going.
Yes.
You know, so it's important.
Because if you don't, I think that's the one thing that we lose ourselves in. And as Africans everywhere, we swift in.
Yes.
You want to be in South Africa, and you want to hide. I'm taking full blame for myself of that. I speak to them in their whatever language they speak to Pretoria. I meet a Zulu guy, and I never speak my language. And in South Africa, you find people speaking Venda and Shangani or Venda and Zulu, and they understand each other.
No, for sure.
But you always want to conform to spaces and not stand out.
Definitely.
And be who you
The
are.
thing is, we always want to fit in.
Yeah.
We are so afraid of standing out there and being unique that we just blend in with everyone else.
Yeah, but you know, when your light is too bright, man, you just wanna
Then what's the use of the light if it's dim? You might as well just
So what is the purpose? No, the purpose
is
of the light is to brighten things up and be out there and show them who you are.
And also, you know, in terms of the candle, can you imagine if it's underneath? It actually burns
Exactly.
if it's underneath rather than when it's on top
and
it lights other candles. Yes, that's the aim.
That's what you need to do. You need to illuminate it, and that is why I love collaborations. I'm always up for collaborations with
you know, today
any and everyone. You know,
speak to our sister.
Speak. In preparing this, I know it's very hectic and all that. How's the feedback? Because there was was it a show or it was a workshop where they had statistics about modesty and halal and all that.
Yeah.
But they never had statistics for South Africa.
Yes.
In terms of what exactly?
In terms of market, in terms of support, there isn't any statistics in terms of how big the modest fashion is in South Africa or how halal businesses
are. It's because nobody is out there doing that. Nobody is out there taking these statistics. No one's getting the data. Nobody is even interested in all of this. And that is where we come in, you know. With this whole thing, what we've done is, like, I have a totally awesome social media manager.
She must be awesome.
I know her without knowing her.
She's like super awesome. Her name is Sue. So she's really, really good at what she does. She's excellent. And what it is that every time we look for content to put onto our social media pages, it's so difficult finding something from Africa, because as part of our schedule, we need to also put stuff up about Africa, modest Africa and stuff like that, and we have found little to nothing. I promise you, the last article that we read was one last year in the beginning of the year, and that was only 2 that was done last year. So there's nothing, yet we are finding articles on everyone else in the world but our African people. So where are we? Where are we hiding?
How do you bridge the gap?
Perhaps this is where I always say that, you know, maybe this is where, instead of being in the river of sameness, and we all want to make clothing, which is like we were saying as we had gone to the break, that there's a position for all of us.
Yes, absolutely.
So maybe we need to rethink this and have people who are making stuff. But at the same time, if we have people in journalism or people in research or whatever, we balance this movement.
It's a team effort. It's absolutely a team effort. Look, if you're going to be designing and if there's no magazine that's going to want to interview you, then there's no exposure. You know, you're doing this on your own. You're going out there. I mean, you got to have media. Media is so important because that's how your message is passed on. If they're not going to pass the message on, who's going to do it for you? You know, there's only so much social media can do. But we need to form movements where we have Muslims there in media. We have Muslims who are sponsors, who are going to sponsor such things. These are things that are needed all of the time. It's a team effort. It's not just a designer. It's not a founder.
It's actually a community.
It's everybody. Absolutely. And if we come together, we're going to get what we want.
But you know, I think also, like, we really need to untangle these things. You know, they always say that in development, they say that half the time for us to go back to the same problem is that we actually treat the symptoms. We don't look at the root. We look at the cause. So perhaps I think it's time now for Muslims. I'm saying it, but I think it's time for Muslims to sort of unlearn part of how things have been done. And I'm not touching, we cannot touch the Quran and the Sunnah, but I mean as a community, how we exist and coexist.
And that is it.
Meaning, we need to have people, for instance, last week we were talking about journalism and freedom of press. And we were saying that people used to be discouraged. As I said, they were discouraged because there was no money, or there's no money in journalism. But we need journalists. So perhaps as a collective, we need to change our narrative by being strategic, unpack whatever is in here, so that we can pack in where are we now and how are we going forward.
And the greatest task is that unpacking, because we have actually been brainwashed to some extent, you know, to actually think and be a certain way. And we need to, if we are going to leave that legacy, we are going to need to do the hard work. We are the ones who's going to need to untangle and do the thing the right way, you know. So the time is now. It's us, you know. And that is why we're even starting the blog. Like, we're going live tomorrow, So we're gonna have a whole lot of information. Like, as I'm saying, the media is not out there to do this for us, so we're gonna do it. We're gonna be the media. We're gonna be the designers. We're gonna be it all. All up in their face. So you know, it has to be done. It has to be done.
And it be a success, hey?
I mean, but you know what they say, where you see the water is almost shaking, you know there's an eruption about. So this is the water shaking, and eruption is. There will be an eruption. Have you found support from people from Chatsworth with what you're doing?
Look, we have that designer, as I said, that's coming up. He's from Chatsworth, Navy Black. So
Navy Black.
He's actually up and coming. He's new, so his name is Hamid. So he's also he's gonna do this thing, you know.
Wow.
And usually we
out there
forget
to
when
do
we
it.
speak about modest way, we never include men.
Yes,
True.
and that was the issue that I was having, and that is the reason why I encouraged him to move forward with this. You know, it's amazing
big.
how the thing is that, you know what, men only. Just yesterday, my cousin had actually called me, and he's like, you know what, remember the kurta that you made the one time, and the people here in Aldo, somebody saw it, and they're like, can you make for their kids, because all they know is white kurtas.
Yeah.
And that's not what it's all about. It's about this. I promise you, there's so much we have to offer as Africans in the modesty industry. It is unreal. So we need to get out there and we need to do this.
So maybe
Absolutely.
collaborations, like you say,
Definitely.
collaborations
It's
is
key.
important.
It is key.
Success.
Collabs, it's key.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
We
You
need
know?
to stop competing. You know, there's this
Yes.
constant, you know, that Instagram page, Oh Wami Women.
Yeah.
They constantly have this queens don't compete every day.
Yeah.
And if we drill that in ourselves as women that we do not need, we might be doing the same things. But I always say our clientele are not the same.
Yes.
Our target market is not the
It's
same.
not the same.
And competition is good.
Yes.
And risk is from Allah.
Yes.
Yours is yours.
No, true. Yeah, what's written for
Yeah.
you is written.
Look,
What's
the
not.
thing is that with the modest market here, especially in South Africa, it has not been cornered yet. Not at all. We're not even close. I mean, you have your Saudi Arabia, for heaven's sakes, has a fashion week. You have your Dubai fashion week. These people are coming out like it's just what it is, you know.
Yeah.
We don't have a very successful modest week here in South Africa, so this is what Maseeha is bringing forward. This is what Modest Africa is bringing forward. This
have
is
the
what we're going to
pompons
do.
now.
Absolutely, and
We
this is
have the
going to be an
pompons.
ongoing thing. It's not going to end now. It's not going to stop now, you know. Well, your listeners just need to follow us constantly on social media. We're at Maseeha M, and go on Facebook, Maseeha.
It's like she's under duress, this woman. She's under duress to actually get this
Okay.
info.
I have people to answer to, woman.
Okay, Zilla, we're going to go for one last break before we wrap up, and you'll be able to share all your social media pages
Yes,
and how
awesome.
the event is. And
Yeah, and if people want to be part of the event,
Yes.
how can they?
Oh, okay, no problem.
All
Great,
right.
Jazakallah.